Hi, I'm Alana Goldstein, and you're watching Going Goldstein, everything you need to know for a busy mom on the go. Today, I wanted to talk about grieving and loss and how to talk about loss with your kids. So recently, we lost someone in our family. We lost my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, and she did hospice with us in the last months of her life, and she lived with us our kids' whole lives. So we were a family in essence of 6. So it was my husband, myself, our 3 kids, and my mother-in-law, and she raised my children when they were babies, and I had to go back to work, and they spent a lot of time with her at home. And then as they grew up, and they would come home from school, and they would be with her, and she was just like another mother figure to them. And losing her was very painful. And we felt that, first of all, it was very important to be honest with them about what was going on with her. So I think that the first thing when communicating with your children is to be honest, but not scary. And you don't really need to give so many details that it's overwhelming for them. But we told them that she had cancer and that she was sick, and we told them that she was going to get some medicine that was going to make her look funny, lose her hair, and all that sort of stuff, so that they were prepared. And we're really glad that we did that, because they understood what was going on from a very early time. We explained to them through every step of the process of what was going on with her, so that they didn't have any questions or it wasn't scary for them. And if we felt particularly emotional when we were going through hospice, as you tend to feel emotional because it's a very trying, emotionally difficult time. So we tried to explain to the kids, listen, mommy's feeling very sad today, or daddy's feeling very anxious today, and it has nothing to do with you, and we really love you, and it's just hard for us because of what's happening with abuela. And it was just important to be honest and open and have that communication with our kids about what was happening. And then when she finally passed away, it was it was in our house because we were doing hospice, and we sent all of our kids to the neighbor's house so that they wouldn't get scared from seeing all the paramedics come in and the police officers come in, and we just wanted time to deal with that in private without our kids there. But we did go down and tell them after, because it takes an hour or two with all the bureaucracy and all the people who come. So we went down to talk to them after. And again, we prepped them and we said, listen, abuela's passed away and this is what you can expect. So setting expectations can be very important with your children of what to expect during that time. And our kids had a lot of questions about the funeral, and I've never been to a funeral in Israel before. It was my first funeral in Israel, and I didn't know what to expect at all. So I told them that I wasn't sure, but this is what the funeral experience for me was like in America. And again, taking them through that experience. And then the hardest part, I think, of dealing with loss with your kids is if you choose to take them to the funeral, which we did because my mother-in-law was like a parent to them, and we really felt it was important for them to have closure. If you decide to take your kids to the funeral, first of all, people will judge you for that, and they'll say, why'd you bring your kids? So you have to just be prepared to kind of shrug off what they're saying, because if you think it's important, then your kid should come. And also, you have to be prepared to see your kids upset, because the whole point of the funeral is for them to have closure. And seeing my kids get upset was upsetting for me, that they were crying and they were talking about how much they were going to miss her. And all I could do is, because I also miss her, so all I could do was be there for them and hug them and support them. But I did think that that was important for them to go through. But as a mother, it was very hard to see my kids be in that emotional state. And of course I knew that they would get over it, and I'm happy with the way that we handled it, but it was a very difficult time for us. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna post this video or not, because it feels very personal. But I kind of wanted to record it while I was going through it. And a lot of times when you're going through something, you don't see it so clearly, and a lot of the times you act on instinct, or you act on emotions, or you act on you act on just how you're feeling, and you really shouldn't make any decisions during these times. But I just felt like it was important to talk about, like, when I'm feeling so raw about it, because, you know, we're only like a couple of, like, a week out from when she passed away. And I just thought it was important to have a check-in about this during this time when the feelings are so raw and there. And maybe I'll feel differently about it when I have processed it, and maybe I would make a different video about it in a year from now. But for right now, I'm really proud of the decisions that I made with my kids, and I feel like they really understand, and I feel like they got the closure that they need. And I hope that, you know, when they think of abuela, that they think of the positive things. Anyway, so I hope that you never have to go through this grief or loss, but we all do, because the loss of a parent is something that we, as adults, all have to deal with. And you'll have to deal with it in relation to your children. So while I don't wish this experience on anybody, I hope that hearing a little bit about my experience makes your experience with this a little easier.